I had met him on several occasions. He would attend a lot of the different Asian American bar association types of events. I also remember going to him when he first started. He had office hours, and animals are something that I care about, and I had tried to start or initiate at least the idea of having an animal abuse, animal cruelty unit. So I remember talking to him for that, and he knew me. But it was really hard because, you know, when I left the office, I went to another city agency, Department of Investigation, and my boss at that agency had brought me to an event where Cy Vance was, and I remember her saying to Cy Vance, I have one of your best now working with me. And he looked at me and said, oh, hi, you'll always be part of the family. How are you doing? And this was, in the meantime, this was in the middle of the prosecution. So it was really tough. You know, it was hard to know whether he had to have known who I was, who my family was, and what they were doing, but it just wasn't something that I guess he could really reconcile himself. It's something that really frustrated me because as a prosecutor, I know how important it is to evaluate the credibility of your witnesses. And, you know, one of the things that you look at, one is the person or the subject, the witness, whoever you are investigating, and you look at their friends, their family, who they associate themselves with. That is part of assessing one's credibility. And here, they turned a blind eye to who I was in the office. And I was someone with a reputation of integrity on both sides, prosecution and defense. So it was really frustrating to me that they just ignored that in order to go after this bank.
Your family dynamic is so fascinating in the documentary. As the youngest, did you feel it was very clear that you struggled to be heard sometimes, which is ironic because you had the most knowledge about the DA's office too. So what was that like?
Yeah. I'm laughing because it's sometimes funny to see yourself or, you know, on screen, and I don't even remember saying that while being interviewed, that sometimes I feel like I'm not being heard as the youngest, but I would feel that, and you know, I think it is a factor of being the youngest, but also Vera and Jill, they worked at the bank, so, and this was really about the bank, but I remember, you know, often I was talking to them, and one of the ways in which I think I was able to help my family is even in providing sort of that, it's such a large, insurmountable task to think that you're going to challenge something as powerful as a prosecutor's office, but I knew the people who worked there, I knew the prosecutors on the case, not as friends, but knew of them, knew their reputations, knew how the office worked, knew the criminal justice process. So all of that, I think, hopefully instilled, you know, some sort of confidence in our family in being able to do this and fight to the end. I think through this process, and one of the beauties of having the documentary made was that it's given us a voice that we never felt that we had, and having that opportunity for the story to be told to a much wider audience, that whole process has been really positive. You know, if we ever had doubts initially as to whether we should agree to be recorded and filmed, I think now all of those have been wiped away because people have come up to us and said, thank you for doing this, because we need to know that this type of thing goes on still in our community, and there's work to be done. So I've moved from, I think, anger and cynicism to more feeling that sense of idealism. It's not quite back yet, you know, in whole, but I was very ideal when I first started as a prosecutor. I think I'm regaining a little bit of that again in terms of feeling like with this documentary now, maybe we can effectuate positive change and some good can come out of this.